All right, looks like we are officially live. I'm so excited. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tammy Anderson Ward, and I am the conference producer for the Energy Healing Conference. And today with me, I have two of my favorite speakers, like of all time, that we've ever had at our conferences. And these ladies were both so busy at the conference that every time I walked past their booth, I could not get a word in edgewise. In fact, do either of you remember me even saying hello?
Only at the beginning, like before the conference started, you said, "Oh, that's a great spot for a booth." That's the only time like we were able to interact.
Yeah, seriously. Martina, what about you?
Yeah, it was like at the beginning, oh, hey, you look so cute in pink. And then at the very end, when we're doing cleanup. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. It was so packed. Well, today, what we're doing here on our Facebook Live is first of all, I want to have them take a minute to introduce themselves and share what they talked about at the conference. And then I want to hear about some of their favorites, their favorite vendors, their favorite speakers, or their favorite highlights from the conference. So, Amy, I'm going to go ahead and have you start first. Tell people a little bit about what you were doing at the conference and what you were speaking about.
Okay, great. Thanks, Tammy. So my message, I'm Amy Winsett. My message was about messages from the other side. So I'm an intuitive, um, some may say a medium, but I'm an intuitive energy reader. I'm a massage therapist. I own a spa in Kaysville called Serenity Wellness Spa.
I've been there before. Really cool.
Yeah, Tammy's been there. I've worked on her before. And so I spend 20, 30 hours a week massaging people, spending time in their energy. And I really realized I also had the spiritual gift to read much more than just where their muscles were tight over the last several years. And so much information comes through. And I'm able to help them see where the energy is blocked. I especially like to focus on chakras and things like that. But also when you're connecting with that subconscious world where you get information from a world that you can't see, when you bring it into the conscious world, it's literally open to just anything. So sometimes we're talking to somebody's past loved one that has come through. And so that's a hot topic of everything I ever speak on. People really want to know about that, is how you get messages from the other side. And I use it mostly in my practice to be able to know where they're hurting and what they need to know or to change in their mindset to be able to heal that so that energy flows better for them in all parts and areas of their life. So this is something I'm very well practiced in. I did write a book. It's called Awakening the Healing of Your Soul. It's been out about a year. It says it's about discovering your intuitive gifts, connect with your guides, and heal your souls. It's kind of like Energy Healing 101, definitely from the perspective of which I use it. And it's a great book for beginners, and it's a great book for if you've already been doing what you've been doing. There's some great stories in there and ways to really make the concepts yours. So yeah, we had a great time in the class. My class was completely packed, which was fabulous. There were a lot of people that came up and just said, "I'm here for you. I circled you big. I really want to hear this message." And something that people really stood out to a lot of people, and maybe a new concept, is I talked about how we have these two spirit guides that I feel are with us all the time. And we probably have more on occasion. And we have grandmas and grandpas that come in and visit, but I really feel like there's a couple that have just been with you your whole life. And what I was teaching is that the one on the right side, there's one on the right and one on the left. If we can just imagine that for just a minute, kind of hold a place for that. I have learned from reading so many other people's energy and their guides, I can tell them so much about their own personality by reading the personalities of their guides that are right next to them, because I can see what they struggle in. If they're listening to that right side one that's really trying to push them and get them to, like in my case, to write a book, feels like homework, but get it done anyways. And then there's that left side that's more the emotional and the spiritual and the free spirited. And that's an easier one for me to listen to because that's who I am naturally. And a lot of people who raised their hand in the conference were like, yeah, that's them. They're the left siders, much more free spirited, which you'll find, I'm sure, and Tammy has noticed at energy conferences, that's how it is. But and there were a few that were, more the right side. So those were some of the fun things that I brought out and taught in the class. And it was two
That is awesome. I love it. And literally, you were on Good Things Utah. Was it 2 or 3 times right before the conference?
Two times pretty close. I've been on there 3 times in the last couple of months. And then also I was on Fox 13, The Place, on April 7th. So 4 times on television in the last 2 months. which just kind of came out of nowhere, but it's been so fun. People have really had some good feedback and some just surprised that something like this is on TV. And I'm surprised after all these years in America, this stuff isn't on TV all the time. Like spirituality, it's a part of everything.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Now, I did go ahead and put Amy's Facebook page down in the comments. So if you want to be able to connect with her, maybe even get an appointment of your own, you can go ahead and reach out to her. I'm also going to go ahead and now put her scheduling link on as well. So for those of you who maybe weren't able to go to the conference, but you're really fascinated and interested in this, you can go ahead and schedule your own session with her as well. I know she's in hot demand. It's really cool if you can actually get an opening when it's convenient for you, but go ahead and try it, see what works for you. And is there anything else that you'd like to add to that before we have Martina go on?
Yeah, I actually have a Facebook Live that's happening tonight. So if you follow me on my page, Awakening with Amy Winsett, you'll see there's an event, and I'm doing a live question and answer. And this is the third one I've done, and it just seems to grow every time. And if you have a question you want me to answer for you, you'll submit that by about 3:00 today. That gives me enough time to pull things together and get really organized. But it's at 7:00 tonight. So find me on when this is all over, find me on Facebook at Awakening with Amy Winsett. Say you're going to come to that event and just get you'll learn. I teach the whole time. I'm not just answering one person's question. I'm teaching how to find those answers for yourself. So that would be great. And also the book, you missed a chance, you didn't get to come. You can get this on Amazon, just amazon.com, Awakening the Healing of Your Soul. And you'll find that book. That's available for purchase there.
Yeah. So they just go on Amazon and do a quick search for that. And they would use your name. And what's the name of the book one more time?
Awakening the Healing of Your Soul by Amy Winsett. Yeah, if you put Amy Winsett in there, it's going to pop it up pretty quick.
Awesome. And you debuted that, right? At our conference. Was it last summer?
Yeah. Last summer, it was like hot off the press. I was like, you guys, this is just for you. I did this. I rushed it. When we all came out of hiding, if you will, and we had an event, I was just like, oh my gosh, in 60 days. And I slammed that book out so fast, and it's really changed lives. It's been a really good book. A lot of good feedback on the book.
That's awesome. All right, well, thank you so much. Okay, Martina, your turn.
I gotta say, this is kind of fun because, well, one, you're talking about Good Things Utah and how they're opening up to that stuff. My sister has been the producer of Good Things Utah for like years. So yeah, they're getting into woo-woo stuff. It's like, because she's like, okay, there's some truth here, but not that I'm taking all credit, because they all were kind of getting interested in some of that stuff. So that's super fun. And it's so fun to meet you in person, Amy. I had a couple other people. So even I had this one lady come up to me and say, oh, you did a reading for me on one of your lives. And I was like, that didn't sound like something I said. And she'll go, oh, maybe it was Amy. I also do lives. I've been doing those for like a year. Well, I took a little bit of a couple month break, but yeah, I've been doing those for like over a year, where I just do on the spot questions and lives and stuff on my Intuition Gym page. So that was kind of a fun connection to see you here and go, oh, that's who the other person was. It was such a fun conference. Meeting the people is probably my favorite thing, is just all the connections. And of course the booths. Like I loved some of the, of course I love finding like I got some, certain stones or some jewelry, but then, I just love like any of the science stuff and technology. So those are probably my favorite booths. And there were a couple of them that I got information on and tried some things. And I'm like, yeah, like I totally geek out over that stuff. So
me too. I'm right there with you. I love that as well. That is so much fun. Cool. Well, I want to go ahead and I put your 2 websites that you shared with me up on the comments here. Tell people what they're going to find on your websites.
Okay. So my complete passion is helping people identify who they are. But basically, this is how I say, like, who they are, why they're here, and what they're going to do with it. So this really just encompasses. So one of them here was my Intuition Gym, and that's my membership. And that goes into all things like in the membership, there's over 24 courses, and we have weekly coaching. And, I do my weekly lives for everyone, for the public on my Facebook page. But then I also do more additional ones inside my membership. And each week there might be a different topic. We do workshops, we do healing. It's about identity, our personalities, kind of those things of who we are, anything like that. And then also diving into intuition and our spiritual gifts and how that works through. And then, it all kind of stemmed. Can I just share? I'm going to share a little bit of my background to kind of say why I do what I do.
Yeah, please do.
That's okay. Okay. So, and so about 14 years ago, okay, well, first of all, my background began actually all the way back, like 27 years ago is when I began on this journey. That's when I first started getting into the mind, body, and spirit connection and understanding that things influence our body. I also started college. I went to college for psychology. And it really even goes beyond that, because as a teenager, I was obsessed with personalities and the personality theories and even dream analysis and astrology. I like dove in as a teenager. So then it catapulted me into this world as an adult. And I started with understanding human behavior, psychology, but also handwriting analysis and body profiling, looking for the patterns in our body, in our minds, in our personalities, even in our humor type, and kind of seeing some similarities and patterns. Like just looking at things and pulling out the patterns is kind of like my jam. Like for some reason, they illuminate for me.
So cool.
Yeah. And then about 14 years ago, I really started to desire the spirituality side of me to open up even more. And I was seeking more in depth about healing in depth and alternative healing methods. And so I was just kind of immersing in it. And at that time, my sight, like my physical eyes, actually started to, and I was doing a lot of things with light. Like if you notice, a lot of my content, a lot of my events and programs and everything have been all about light. Yeah, my website, I am living light. So I'd have like light plan, warriors of light, like just a lot of light themed things. But at that time I was immersing myself in light and all what it means and all the different areas, but my physical eyes started to see light. And now I'm not just talking like, oh, I see an aura or I see this. No, I'm seeing like X-ray vision, layers of strands and connections and movements and grids and patterns, and watching something like use energy and the way that it's being used, and the way that it is in the body, or seeing like a tree, seeing the network of trees and the way it moves and goes. And then even seeing things like if a person was at the gym, or I saw this person at the gym and they're watching like Jerry Springer and there was fighting on the screen, and I could see some of the light and energy being sucked into the screen, and I'm like, so like alarming stuff, but very confusing, thought I was crazy. But after just figuring out those patterns and feeling things empathically, like knowing what people are feeling, and then diving into the science of things, I really immersed myself in like the science and the spiritual aspects of what I was seeing. I developed and learned these patterns. So this is what allows me to do those quick readings, like on the quick readings. And at the booth at the conference, I taught a class on identity and who the keys unlock who we are. And then I also taught a class on developing your supernatural gifts and abilities. Because I've never seen anyone in the whole world teach certain things about the spiritual gifts in this way, but it's because I can see the way it moves and goes through a person. So I did over 50 live readings at my booth.
Which you told me that was like the most that you've ever done at one conference, right? Like, because we had the time, we had 3 days. We normally are 1 or a 2 day, but still, that's a lot. You did a lot.
I think it was actually more like 54. I was trying to add them up. It was about 54 of them. They're each about 15 minutes or so, because I go through and I helped identify their top, sometimes 3 or 4 spiritual senses. And spiritual senses are different than gifts. A lot of times the world says, oh, this is my gift. I see things. It's my gift. And what I've been able to distinguish the difference here is they are not your gifts. If you're a human being, you have physical senses, you have spiritual senses. Everybody has spiritual senses, whether it be sight, hearing, but there's 10 of them. Some I coined myself just by watching the energy. And so I'm like, there's full 10. And then our gifts work through them. So let's say the same person might have two people might have the gift of healing. It moves through those people differently based on their spiritual senses are different, their personalities are different, and their purposes are different. I can like seeing some people have like similar even spiritual senses and even similar gifts, but if there is a different purpose, then they are going to show up differently and they're going to help people in a different way, you know? So I
Yeah.
love helping people just gain the confidence and clarity on who they are and how to show up.
I love that. Well, I know that you've helped me several times, not just with myself, but with my family as well. People who are the most important to me. And I just really appreciate that you do have this ability to be able to do this. And I love that you've been able to advance it and continue studying and adding to it and bringing all of this other stuff in to that just complements that information because it really is so helpful. So helpful. I'm so thankful for it. So, well, let's go ahead and jump to. So both of you have your links in the comments. So if people are watching right now and they want to be able to connect with either one of you or both of you, all of your links are listed there down in the comments. So please feel free to check those guys out. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, you'll be able to access those.
Yeah,
Or
and one last thing, I actually my gift at my booth and gift that I'm giving to people is a free training on all 10 of those spiritual senses.
Oh, cool.
On Tuesdays. So it's on either of those websites. Intuition Gym is my membership. The I Am Living Light, it's a tab at the top and it just says register right there.
Yeah.
You get all 10 and dive in with me. So it's super fun.
Cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Well, one other thing we wanted to do today is we wanted to also talk about what were some of your favorite things. So, Amy, go ahead and share with us what some of your favorite features were.
I was way busy at my booth, but just before I left on Saturday, I finally had a chance to do a little bit of shopping. And I found these ladies, the Vibe Jewelry Company.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So I had just spent like 3 days reading people's energies, signing and autographing books, connecting with people. And so I was just like really, and when you go to these conferences, your intuition is just open anyways. And I walk into their little space and I could just feel and sense that they had just done everything right that you're supposed to do to have a booth and to attract people. And I could tell underneath it all, yes, it was beautifully displayed and everything like that. But I could tell underneath it all, their intention was there, that their intention for just connecting with people in the way that they needed to be connected with to come and buy things from their booth. There were just women everywhere, just gathering beautiful little gemstones and charms. And I mean, did you get it from there? Yeah, there were so many, and I was just like reading the energy of which one's called to me. Here's one I'm wearing, another one today. And I actually have a little gift shop in my spa. And so my husband and I will quite often look for vendors, things like that, and that where they already sell things like this. And I've never seen these in any of the sites that we've ever looked at. It was really unique. And they also had like little cards that went with like every single one. Like will tell you like Ocean Jasper, which was I think this little green one I just showed you. And these extra little charms you can add to it. I went up to those ladies and I was like, I got to tell you something. And they were so happy. I just started like reading, just telling them what I could see about the energy that they put behind this. And I said to one of them, the shorter one, I said, and you have a grandma with you that's like backing all this up. And the taller one points to her and she goes, yep, that's her grandma. And then she said to me, yeah, that's my grandma Elizabeth. She loved jewelry. And I was just like, there was just so much good energy behind it. Much good variety. And it was like $12, $16. And then everybody got a free. You got to choose a free one after that. So I got like 4 for the price of the 3. And this one here is Coral Fossil.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I was like, so oceany. I was like really into that.
Oh, I love it.
Those guys were great. They're going to be at Swiss Days in lots of places, but Swiss Days up in Midway in September. And I want to go to that anyways. And so the other favorite thing is, and I'm a massage therapist and my husband's always in pain, which is my humble pie, I guess, because he always wants a massage. And he's always got these like electric massagers. These ladies, I think there were actually a couple of them with this vendor. I don't know if they were the same vendor in 2 different places, but they were okay. This MedSense, trying to get a good picture here for you. MedSense mini percussion massager, and it is like the best little thing. And she told me I got a good deal, but I was like, okay, did I really get a good deal? I looked on Amazon for ones that were similar. There were some cheaper ones, but they were not as good a quality. And then we looked at the actual ones for this company, and they retail it like over. See, that's so cool. You got to push the button to the bottom and like. Anyways, they retail for like $550, and I got all of this, including the extra little bonus kit, for like $175. I mean, she was like, "You got a good deal. You got a good deal." And we have been using the last several days, and it's a really, really good little massager. So that was actually like worth the whole conference right there to bring that home to my husband. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know the first time I sat down and tried some of their stuff, I bought 3. I got one for me, one for Kathy, and then I also had one shipped to my dad. And I didn't hear anything about it from my dad. And finally, like a month later, I'm like, did you ever get that gift I sent you? And he's like, I've been telling your brother that he's the best son in the world because I thought it was for him. And I'm like, man, you suck. Like, I totally paid for that. Like, I had that shipped. Yeah. He's like,
oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm awesome.
But, yeah, I'm a good daughter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hear you. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I love your favorites. And I was going to tell you, so I actually called Jeannie and I was like, all these people that didn't get to come to the conference that wanted to come shopping at your booth, let's hook them up. And so she totally put this special coupon code together just for the people who weren't able to come or who maybe were too busy because they were doing their own booths or whatever. So you guys can go to her website at vibejewelrycompany.com and use that coupon code, and then it'll give you a little bit of extra savings. And then she's also going to be coming on next Thursday, so a week from today at 2 p.m. And she's going to be selling some one-of-a-kind pieces. And they're so much fun that whenever they do this for us, they usually go through about 50 different pieces in 1 hour. So it moves really fast. But if you're like a gemstone lover and you just absolutely want to see what else they have, they ship them out really fast. They put them in these beautiful little white boxes tied with a beautiful little bow, and they have little feathers and everything. It's so cute. Anyway, Martina, what were some of your favorites? I want to hear about yours.
I also love those. I got the MedSense, the big massager at, I think last year. Was it last year? Maybe the year before. I don't know. They've come to a couple of them, I think. So, yeah, I love it. Love it. Love it.
And plugins too. So you can do it while you're sitting there if you're road tripping.
Totally. And then like the lower back, and I'll even do my calves and like my legs, because it kind of, you can put it in and like squeezes your leg muscles, my neck, my head. I get real creative, but I'm like, this is like, I've never had a machine that actually felt like hand massages, and that machine is one of the first ones that's small and portable, and it can feel like somebody doing like that kneading out thing. It was really nice. So I do like that.
That's awesome.
Let's see. I loved the I as well. I was super busy Saturday night. I finally was like, okay, I got to shut off the live readings a couple hours early just to, like, I was limping at the end. Open 8 to 8 on the vendor days. Well, Friday, Saturday. But anyway, so Saturday night is when I walked around as well. And I got a foot zone. That was one of my favorites. I really liked them. They were the Awaken. I just pulled out their little card. I was like, it was the little Awaken foot zone people. They're closer up, I think, in Ogden or something.
Yeah, they're in South Ogden.
Yeah, South Ogden.
There's my feet at the very end of the conference. They're like, come sit down.
Yes, I loved. Their hearts were so pure. I love the energy that they put into the foot zone. And then I also loved the way they use all the stones. And so, the little stone balls that they'd roll into the foot zone. And then they also had some other things with the stones to put in, and then even intuitively let you pick one beforehand. So I was like, that was heaven sent to be on your feet for 3 days and then to have that foot zone at the end. I was like, oh, my angels. So I appreciated them. And then one of the other things that like really surprised me and I was really happy with were these stem cell patches. The life wave stem cell. It was like patches or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Midge.
Yeah, and I'm always kind of like, because sometimes, really energy just works with intention. So sometimes I could program my pen to have healing powers with intention and energy. I mean, so that's why quantum healing can work. It doesn't always have to be certain things. So I'm like, is it just on a quantum level, like intention, or there's some other technology into it that's amplifying it? And so I just love to just go experience it with an open mind. And okay, let me experience this and see what happens. I gotta say, I put the patch on me, and they test where to put it on your body. I put it on my belly, and immediately I kind of felt and saw this like activation here, and then it came up, and also my brain started feeling opening, and my eyes started feeling clearer, and I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And and it gave me energy and everything. And then
the first time I ever experienced them, I was at the Salt Palace doing a conference, and I watched this lady literally limp around the first half of the day, and she was trying to get up the stairs. For some reason, the what's it called when the automatic staircase escalator? The escalator was turned off, and so she was trying to get up the stairs, and I watched one of the LifeWave patch people go over to her and patch her, and she literally ran up and down the stairs after that. And I was like, wait a minute, is this like all like, did you guys do that for me? And the lady was like, I've never met her before in my life. She was crying at the end of the day. She felt so good, her whole body, her knee and everything. And I was like, all right, let me get a box of those.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things, especially since I've been in, around this kind of industry for 27 plus years, there's certain things it's like, it gets to a point where you're like, oh yeah, I kind of know that, kind of seen that. Like there's not a lot of new things that I can see a lot of times that are just like, oh, I loved it. And that was one of them for me, is it was just this little patch and poof, it was like,
yeah, that's so cool. And I know that you geek out on the science of it, and they're all based off of quantum energy and everything. So yeah, it's really fun.
Totally. The other dude that I really liked, what was his name? That Joe Blanton, with all of his stuff. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. And that was the thing I appreciated about him. I've got his flyer here. And this is just his little handout flyer, but they've done all of these like thermal scans, taking blood before and after, the tooth scan and seeing the infection go away, and seeing, like the infrared, like seeing pain levels decrease. And he's got tons of different products. And so I'm definitely in touch with him, just you could get some more of those.
What's his name?
Joe Blanton.
He's
got like a YouTube channel, and when I was talking to him, he apparently has gone to like some other like conferences around the world that are kind of like energy healing conference, like the Conscious Expo or whatever, some of the big ones. But I really like his products. What are they called? The Get Vibrance.com. So Get Vibrance.
I think I did see the name, but I didn't actually. I mean, there was a lot of booths there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. He had a very softer personality, like, and then it was smack in between the med sense, some of the massages. So that's a louder energy that's coming out. And then he was tucked in here, and then the other booth right next to it was kind of fun, where they had the stones, but they cleanse them individually. And then they give you a little thing that tells you what that stone wanted. Like this one, maintenance on this wants some salt water and wants like, that was very specific.
Seriously, that is awesome. Well, very cool. Thank you guys both for taking the time to share with me what your favorites were. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add about the conference, just as an overall experience that you loved about it? Maybe some of the things that were like the takeaways for you, or even that you heard other people saying from what their favorites were. We've got about, a couple dozen people on across several different platforms, and there people maybe who've never been before might want to hear about some of these type of highlights. I'll let you guys go ahead and answer that briefly.
Right. Well, I just want to say, like, Martina, I've never had the chance to go to your classes, because if I'm there, I'm always teaching and doing my booth as well. But I would say that your name popped up a lot when people came to my booth, and that you were highly influential, and they got your book and things like that. So I know that you really impressed a lot of people and were able to teach a lot of good things there. And then, of course, we had Carol Tuttle there this time. We only get her like sometimes. Yeah. And that's always amazing. Carol's just, she goes way back for me in the beginning of my massage days. Even before that, I was learning about chakras from her. And it was really nice, because she just seems like your everyday person. who's just talking about chakras, and she's got these great videos. And so I referred people all the time to Carol Tuttle for her videos on the very basics of energy. And I have to give her so much credit for that, for where I really started to learn the words and how to do that. So that was incredible. She spoke about an hour after I did. And I know that her class was packed as well. That was amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
She was right after the next day. So we were really lucky that we were able to kind of scoop her up when we did.
Yeah, it's so cool to see those classes, and I love seeing like my probably most favorite thing, like I said, to the connection with people, but to hear, my favorite thing is to hear them have the breakthroughs that they do, and to get the answers and to questions that they're seeking, or to get solutions, right? So like I would often hear, sometimes it would be like, oh, Martina, I came for you, like this was the one piece. But it wasn't just me. It was like all of a sudden they're sharing with me, like, I got these earrings and here's the symbolism, what it means to me. And it like totally I had a meltdown and I had a breakthrough, an emotional thing just over getting earrings, or like some of the physical solutions. And they're just like, I don't know why, but I was just drawn to be here. And this is what unlocked for me. So it's just like this common theme of getting finding a solutions, or getting your answers and breakthroughs from, and then of course being in that environment and being like a light, like, here, we can all come here, and then we can also amplify and magnify the healing and intuitive answers that we're seeking, right? We can amplify it being in that space all together. Oh, and the other thing that's so fun, I forgot to mention all the things you did this time. I heard great things about like the sound bath, the drum circle, like the drum circle. I had a friend come back and tell me to like knock their socks off. Like they just loved it. And the sound baths, and just some of the fun things, man. It was, you did a little, sprinkled some extra touches this time. That was really good.
We sure tried.
I have to add too.
It's crazy rainstorm, but it was cool.
Yeah, a lot of rain. It was loud. I have to add too that for all the people that I was doing readings for, and helping them connect with their intuition and with their guides that day, it was so nice to be able to say to them, now just go and enjoy all this energy that's here for the next 2-3 days. Go and just vibe in this space, because it's going to heal you over the next 2 or 3 days, because you're going to be able to be safely open. There's so much belief in those buildings. It's just like, even the most intuitive of us just are even that much more intuitive. And it was just so great to just say, just bathe in this energy and really learn from it, because it will heal you and put you into a new trajectory from here on out. So that's one of my favorite things about the conferences period.
That is awesome. That feels so super yummy. Well, I really, really appreciated you guys' thoughts on that. I've been asking constantly, like, for feedback, like, what can we do to make it better? And I really feel like overall, what we've been hearing for the last couple of years is people have said stuff like, we want to like be able to be more immersed in it, and actually be able to do like a lot of experiential type things. And both of your classes were very experiential. So I want to say thank you for that. But then also what you did after in your vendor spaces, it was the same kind of thing. And I know that you could only do so many people there at the time, but that's why we wanted to be able to have you both back on, so that people could know how to connect with you if they weren't able to get on your list, or if they weren't able to come to the conference as well. And then, of course, the sound baths were amazing, and the Qigong, we did interactive Qigong out there, yoga, which was Kundalini yoga, which we'd never had before at our conference, several different drum circles. I mean, there were some things that we've just never had before. I was really, really grateful for all of those professionals and practitioners who came and added that. But thank you once again, both of you. I just really appreciate you so much.
And vice versa. Thank you, Tammy.
Yes, Tammy. Thank you for the opportunity.
Like, it's an opportunity. It's work for you. Like, I know it's so much work, and you do it so lovingly. And like, here's my way to show up and to serve others. And so I really just want to, acknowledge how much you put into these things, and have put into them. Is it a decade now? Is it 8 years? How many years?
9 years.
9 years. Yeah. So I'm like, And I've been since day one. I was at the first one, so I've
You
seen
were.
how much you've grown. So thank
Actually,
you.
you are one of the reasons why I started doing these conferences. When I met people who really like helped change my family's like the trajectory of our lives and help us so much, I wanted to get those people in front of more people to not be able to just help you grow in your exposure and everything, but I knew that there were people that really needed how much you'd help me and how you'd offered that support to my family. And so literally thank you, because, like I probably wouldn't have been so inspired to start doing these conferences 9 years ago. We've done 100 conferences now in that much time, in multiple states. We travel around to different places. And to be honest with you, this has probably been one of the most difficult for me personally. So thank you for your gratitude, I guess.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Tammy.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm getting tears. I'm about to cry. I got goosebumps.
No joke. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, my team just like really carried me through so much, and my family, the dishes did not get done the week of the conference, but that's okay. I was able to go, my OCD is sitting over here for a hot sec. When I come back, I'll go do the dishes. It'll be fun.
They'll be there for you. They'll be waiting for you. Don't worry.
You know what? They were.
Mine too.
Amen.
Right.
Well, and I got to say, can I just tell you guys a miracle too? Because so I drove up for the conference and I actually was there for 9 days just because we had Father's Day and I had some family birthdays. And so I came up a few days early or the weekend before. So I came up Friday and then I was there for the next weekend conference, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I came home to my cat had snuck into my daughter's room and got locked into a hot room and survived for 9 days with no food or water. And I was like, and there were continual miracles. It was like, and the carpet that I had to cut out, I actually had a spare one from brand new carpet 6 weeks ago that I was able to fit and match the new carpet. New mattress. I already had a mattress in the garage from other bunk beds that I was able to get rid of her mattress and put that one in. Miracles. And I think miracles happen when you serve and you're watched over and things can happen. It's like that law of compensation, whereas you serve karma, right? You put it out in the world, you get it. So Tammy, yeah, lots of karma coming your way. Because
I'm so glad your kitty was okay. When you told me about that, I was just like, oh.
I sat there like crying in gratitude. I was like, how did this cat survive? I don't know. Like, miracle.
No food, no water. Oh my gosh. Serious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad it's okay as well. And it's recovered on its way to.
Yeah, he's totally good. He just wants lots of love and eating, and he's happy. He seems very back to normal and healthy and everything. That's what I'm saying. Like complete, like this is the power of miracles when you show up, you serve, and even quantum healing, right? My kitty is a testament to some of the healing power that we got going on over here.
That was way cool. Awesome.
So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you both of you so much for jumping on. Appreciate you, and good luck with your Facebook Live today later, Amy, and people can jump on yours also anytime. Martina, you're on there quite a bit as well.
I got mine in an hour. So
what's your Facebook page? People can go jump on.
It's just the Intuition Gym on Facebook page. You can follow it. Yeah, I get notified. Those are the Tuesday, Thursdays. I'll go public on that one. Typically, I have like several groups and several places in a YouTube channel that I do. But on that page, I'll go live on that page in an hour.
That's
good to know. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, both of you, and we'll see you at the next conference.
Nice to see you. Thanks, Tammy.
Nice to see you.
Okay, take care, everyone. Oh, I love those ladies so much. That was so sweet and nice to be able to connect with them. I loved hearing about their favorite stuff, favorite vendors, favorite speakers, and things that were happening at the conference for them. I hope you guys who either maybe you missed the conference or whether you went, it's kind of fun just to be able to hear about some of those things that happened at the event. I will be back on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I actually have a new speaker that is going to be joining us for the first time ever. Her name is Amanda Loveland. She is a Utah resident, but she also travels all over the place. She has her own podcast. She has her own events that she does, her own retreats. and experiences that people can come and join in. So if you're interested in finding another one that will help you, Amanda will be on tomorrow with me. I will be on tomorrow for 1 hour from 10 a.m. to about 11 a.m. And I'm excited for you guys to be able to get in on that. My team is telling me that I should also share one more thing. July 12th, we are going to be starting a new class. The focus of this class is all about money. And I want to go ahead and just share that with you before I jump off. For those of you who might be interested, here's the link down in the comments. You can go ahead and click on that. It's going to take you to a page where it just has some brief information about the event. This is our summer study class where we're going to actually be talking about money. Money's like one of those topics that's a little bit taboo for some people, or kind of like a little uncomfortable. I'm a little uncomfortable, honestly, to teach this class, but I've had so many requests from people who have said, we want to know what you do to be able to get past your personal money blocks. As a young girl, I moved around a lot, and we were in survival mode a lot of the time when I was growing up. And there were definitely a lot of poverty or scarcity type of thinking that we had as we were doing that. And I've been able to move through that, but not just like by myself. I've hired my own mentors to help me with my own mindset things. So this class, we're going to be doing what's called a $10,000 challenge, where we're going to be focusing in on gaining an extra $10,000 for whatever it is that you need in your life. So if that's something that you want to do, that's what our focus for the group is going to be over the 7 weeks. You're automatically going to be getting a list of 300 positive money statements. I'm going to be teaching you how to use those in a myriad of different ways. We'll also be doing some meditations and some step-by-step actions and a checklist for you, if you will. You'll be getting templates and just loads of inspiration. Not just me, but also I have a daughter that we're going to have her jump in from time to time and share some of the things that she's been able to do. My husband is also excited to be able to jump in. So if you want your partner to be able to join in with you, a business partner or your life partner or your spouse, your teens can jump in. Anybody in your household can jump in for still this price. So it's $77 if you were not at the conference. And if you would like more information, please feel free to just click on that link. There's some more details there. You can join in on that. And I'm excited to be able to teach these things because like our family, we've like set these goals and then we've just been able to get them over and over and over. And I just wanted it to be like a relaxed class because it can be kind of a taboo topic. So it's kind of just a really relaxed class in on that. So you guys can go ahead and click on that. I also wanted to do another announcement about the audio recordings. If you didn't go to the conference, but you would like to be able to listen to the classes that were there, you can actually get in on the audios for only $30. And we're going to leave that open for a few more weeks. But they're just listed right on our website, which is just energyhealingconference.com. So you can go ahead and click on that. A couple of other big breakthroughs for me, I'll be talking about tomorrow when I jump in at 10 a.m. So if you're like, ooh, I love learning about this, or maybe you went to the conference and you feel like you're still on a conference high and you want to keep riding that wave, you can jump on with me tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you have not yet had the opportunity to write us a review, please feel free to do that on either Google reviews or our Facebook page as well. I'm excited to hear from you and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.